turn the music up, we'll need at least one light to medium dumbbell, a barbell or a set of dumbbells for one of our movements. A mat is optional, and then a repeat exercise band if you've got it. We'll switch the music real quick, and then we'll get started with our short warm-up. Go ahead and turn this down. Start with our usual jumping jacks. Get my app started. And we're ready to go. Perfect. Starting here in 10 seconds with our jumping jacks. In 3, 2, 1, and begin. I have a feeling this sweatshirt's gonna come off pretty quickly. It's just so cold outside today. Awesome job. About 10 seconds. Go ahead and transition to the down dog cobra. And switch. Really thinking about pushing into those shoulders, stretching the back of our legs, and then sinking down into that cobra pose. Perfect. Next, we'll stay in our plank and switch to mountain climbers. Following our hand, as we rotate up to the ceiling, right side. 5 more seconds, and we will stand up to do our star pose with the alternating crosses. Nice and big. Crossing side to side. Getting our spine moving, as well as that stretch in the back of the legs. Awesome. A few more seconds. We'll grab onto our toes for bootstrappers. And switch. Holding onto the front of the toes, lowering down to that deep squat, elbows on the inside of the knees, stretch at the bottom, stretch back up to the top. Perfect. 5 more seconds, we'll have a seat on our rear end, and do the seated hip openers. Knees facing one direction, rotating over, sitting up on top of that other hip. Should feel the stretch. And on the outside of the glute. Most people are more flexible one side versus the other. Going to the right's definitely my weakest. Awesome. A few more seconds and we'll stand up for alternating standing crunches. Nice job. Elbows and knees meet in that middle. Switching side to side. And done. I'll go ahead and turn the music down real quick and we'll go over our movements for today. Alrighty. So, I know I said probably like second class or second week that we did a lot of my favorite movements, but today, honestly, is a lot more of my favorites. So what we have on the schedule for today are banded good mornings. I believe we've done them before with the band around our neck, hip hinging, using the band as our resistance versus a weight. Today we've got clusters. So we've done thrusters and we've done squat cleans. Now we'll combine them into one movement, which is called a cluster. Pretty fun. I like them. They're kind of hard, but they're good. Then we'll do banded high pulls, which I also believe we've done before with the bands. Band underneath our feet, pulling straight up with those elbows. And then throwing it in today, we're only going to do half of it, but it's half of a Turkish Get Up. So really just the first part and then back down. So we'll do 1 minute on one side, really working on that core, keeping our shoulders nice and stable, holding that weight above our head. And then we'll move to something else before doing the other side of the Turkish Get Up. That other thing just so happens to be one of my favorite PT exercises. It's a banded bow and arrow. So we'll hold the band out on one side and we'll pull back, really emphasizing the back of our shoulders, using our shoulder blades to squeeze together, but one side at a time. They're pretty fun. I like them. So first thing, let's grab bands and we'll go over the banded movements to start, just so we've got that one piece of equipment. So for banded good mornings, we'll step in, have the band flat. I like to do about hip width apart, and then you really got to bend over if you got a thick band like I do here. You got to bend in, stick it kind of on the back of your neck, kind of more where your traps meet. I like to hold it while it's here. Makes me feel like it's not going to come back over my head as I bend down. And then from there, really focusing on our hip hinge back, because this band, just like we do with weights, it's got to travel in that straight line, so it's not going to be bending any which way, because that's what's going to make it slip and probably not feel so good in our neck. So if we hip hinge straight back, feel that stretch, push against the band to extend our hips, squeezing those glutes and hamstrings. That band should travel, make a bigger circle, and then a smaller circle, but it's not making any crazy shapes. Good. And for these, not looking for fast pace, definitely nice, controlled movement. And then to come out of it, I just like to bend forward, hook it off the front of my neck. Perfect. So then we've also got banded high pulls today. Same kind of foot position. Obviously, the wider your feet are, the more tension you'll have on the band. So you can kind of fill this one out. But essentially, palms facing yourself, and we're driving up with the elbows. So I don't want any of this kind of T-Rex arm, really leading with those elbows to pull up just to about like chest height, collarbone height, and then lowering back down, nice and controlled. Good. Good. Yeah, you guys look great. Okay, so then our last banded exercise today is those bow and arrows. So again, obviously, I'll have less resistance the further my hands are apart, closer to the other, the more I gotta pull. So we'll do 30 seconds each arm. The arm that's holding out should be straight. This one, same kind of concept with those high pulls. Elbow stays high as we're pulling back our bow, nice and controlled on the way out. Really think about your shoulder blades almost scooping next to the neck, to your other one. So it's coming around, pulling in. So I can't see my shoulder blades, but if I keep my elbow high, the arm's got to squeeze in, keeping the other arm forward and straight. Go ahead and try a few on each arm. Most important key here, elbow high. Not sure if any of you bow hunters. I got a bow and arrow for Christmas when I was like 13. I really wanted to be like Katniss Everdeen. I think I used it for like one summer, and it's collecting dust in my garage currently. But kind of same concept. Elbow high before you do the release, but nice and control throughout that entire motion. Any question with the banded exercises? Okay, yeah, you guys, your form looks great. Okay, cluster time, my favorite. So if you're using dumbbells, if you don't have a barbell here with you, you'll just kind of hold. I like to hold a little more biased to like one end so that the end tips down, if that makes sense. So I'd be holding it instead of holding it in the middle. I like to like bias my hand towards the back, so the end that's towards me. So here, and then you'll squat clean to then thrust up, but obviously with 2 of them. And then if you're using a barbell, a little bit more my preference. I feel like my right side's usually stronger, so I'm pushing harder when I have a dumbbell on that side than I am with my left. So this tries to, the barbell keeps me a little bit more even. So we'll start with that kind of deadlift movement into that squat clean to then push head through up through the thruster, and then curl it back down essentially, and then repeat. So it's a squat clean to a thruster, called a cluster. A little bit from the side. So I'm deadlifting to that clean to the thrust. I think I mentioned it before when we did them, the thrusters with the ball, but try to like peek your head through the window so you don't see in your periphery your arms. That's how you know you're actually above your head versus potentially injuring your shoulder by being too out here. It's a lot of weight versus being over my center of gravity. Good. Okay, any questions on those clusters? Okay, yeah, you guys look great. Now we'll do half of the Turkish Get Up. So if you guys have ever done a Turkish Get Up, you essentially start by laying on the ground, holding a weight above your head, and then you stand all the way up with the weight above your head, and then you reverse it, and that's 1 rep. But we're just gonna do the first half of that Turkish Get Up today. So you'll start laying on your back, and then whichever hand is moving the weight, that's the knee that's going to be bent. So it's same side. A little awkward at first, but once you get the hang of the pattern, it'll feel pretty comfortable. So you'll start with that weight straight up, so elbow straight, weight's above my shoulder, and then from here, with that other arm that's straight on the same side that the leg is straight, you're gonna push up onto your elbow. Good. And then you push up onto your hand, and then from here, leg swings through, keeping that weight above your head straight the whole time. So that's just the first half that we're gonna do today. So then we'll swing back through, onto our elbow, onto our back, and then up on our elbow, onto our hand, leg swings through. Nope, we'll do one side for a whole minute and then another side for a whole minute. But it's pretty slow movement, so we'll probably only get a few reps in. My mic is sliding off my pants per usual. I will speak the directions throughout as best I can as we're doing those. Try a few on each side. I know I definitely have one side I'm more comfortable with. So when you switch it, again, one arm and one leg are straight. I like to do the arm out, most comfortable for that starting position. Arm that's up carrying the weight, leg is bent. You'll go up onto your elbow, up onto your hand, and then from here, leg swings through, keeping that weight up, just kind of in like an awkward like kneeling position, really focusing on that shoulder stability before laying back down. So goal is, can't really see, I've got a sweatshirt on. We're keeping that elbow straight and the weight close, like our arm close to our ear so that weight's directly above us the whole time. It's gonna be a challenging one today, but it's gonna be good. Okay, we'll go ahead and get started in a couple minutes. Grab some water if you need it. Grab maybe a couple weights if you feel like, oh, the one I tried, I'm not really sure that I like it or I'm gonna be able to do it for the full amount of time. I don't care how heavy you're going, I care that you're moving the whole time at with good form. So remember, quality over quantity. Okay, so I'll get myself set up. Again, grab some water if you need it. Alrighty. I will turn the music up and then we'll go ahead and get started. We will be using our bands first. We'll start with our banded good morning. So if you want to get set up, hook it around your neck. We'll get started here in 10 seconds. Beginning in 3, 2, 1. And remember, pushing those hips back so that band still stays in a straight line. Feel that stretch in the back of the glutes. Squeeze the glutes and hamstrings to extend those hips back to that starting position. One thing too, especially with the bands around our neck, try to keep your neck in that straight line the whole time so that we're not looking up, pinching our neck at all. So you'll look at the floor at the bottom, and then look at the wall in front of you at the top. Awesome. In 10 seconds, we'll put that band down, grab your dumbbells or your barbell. We'll move on to clusters. And switch. Just a reminder, it's that deadlift, squat clean, thruster, and then bar comes down in that segmented pattern. Deadlift, squat clean, straight into that thruster. I like to drop it back down, then down to my hips, and then reset for that next rep. Seconds, we'll pick that band back up and move to the banded high pulls. And begin. With your band, remember, feet further apart, a little more resistance, closer together, gives you a little bit of leeway on that band. Driving up with those elbows. Good. I thought of this exact movement again as I moved my suitcase to and from the car, airport. In 10 seconds, we'll drop our bands, pick up that light dumbbell, and do our first set of those half Turkish Get Ups. And switch. Remember, arm that's up, leg, that leg is bent. Other arm and leg are straight, hand kind of out to the side. First, going up on that elbow, then reaching up onto that hand, other elbow straightened, and then pulling that leg behind you, keeping that weight right above you. And then nice and controlled back out. Elbow stays close to that ear, onto the elbow, laying down on your back. Starting all over again. Up onto the elbow, up onto the hand, swinging that leg through, keeping that weight directly above you, elbow straight, and then leg out, elbow to back. Perfect. We are going to pick up our bands again now. Do those bow and arrows. 30 seconds on each side today. Elbow high, other arm straight, parallel to the floor. Nice and controlled that the entire movement. Thinking about the scapula of the arm that's working. pulling around. Kind of squeeze into the other one. And switch sides. Perfect. In 10 seconds, we'll pick up that dumbbell again and do our last movement of this round. The other side of those half Turkish get-ups. Go ahead and switch. Perfect. Bent and bent on the same side, straight and straight on the other. First going up onto the elbow of that straight arm, lifting that weight right above your head, up onto the hand, and then leg swings through, keeping that arm nice and straight directly above you. Swing the leg back, sit on that hip, keeping that weighted side close to your ear, to the elbow, and then back to your back. And then repeat. So push the weight up onto your elbow, up onto the hand, leg swings through. Good. Find stability there, and then go ahead and reverse it. Perfect. In 10 seconds, really get a rest break. Try to get one more rep in if you can. Nice job, everyone. Go ahead and rest. And we'll meet back here in about 50 seconds. Why don't we just go back to where we came from? Summer air. We'll pick back up our bands, sling it around the back of our neck, and do our banded good mornings. And begin. Band, probably in a straight line, pushing those hips back into the stretch, squeezing the glutes and the hamstrings, and twisting those hips. Keeping our back and neck in a straight line. At the top, we're looking at the wall or the mirror, and then as we lower down, looking directly at the floor. Good, halfway there. Awesome. In 10 seconds, we take our hands off, pick up the dumbbells, and switch. Perfect. Starting in that deadlift position, clean into the squat clean, standing up into that thruster, pushing our head through the pocket, going from the side, nice and controlled. Segment of the way down, we're gonna hurt ourselves. So deadlift, do squat clean, into that thruster, in our clusters. One thing to think too, if you're using a barbell, you can let the bar roll a little bit in your hand so that the transitions are a little bit smoother. Perfect. Go ahead and pick up the band again. We'll move to those high poles. And our feet closer together gives us a little bit more slack on that band. Feet further apart makes it a little bit harder. Really driving up with those elbows, pointed to the ceiling, nice and control on the way down. good. Perfect. In 10 seconds, we'll drop a band, pick up our dumbbell for the first set of those half Turkish get-ups. Awesome. Band down, on our back. Seems like just yesterday you were a part of me. Weight and bent legs same side, straight and straight on the other. Weight straight up to the ceiling the whole time. First onto that elbow, then onto our hand. Swing that leg through. Keep nice locked and tall through that shoulder. Find a stable position before reversing it back to laying down. Perfect. In 10 seconds, we'll go ahead and rest. Try to get one more rep in. I didn't mean we'll rest. I'm sorry. We'll pick up our bands again. Perfect. Go ahead and pick up that band for 30 seconds each arm of those bow and arrows. Just like the last movement with the band, elbow stays high. Nice and controlled movement. Don't let that band pull your arm back to that starting position. If you notice it feels like it's getting a little heavier, you can scooch the hand back a little bit. Give yourself a little bit more room to pull and switch. I told you everything, open up and let you in. You made me feel alright for once in my life. In 10 seconds, we'll pick up that dumbbell again, point our backs on the other side of the Turkish Get Up for one last movement this round. So go ahead and switch. Straight on the other, pushing up onto the elbow, trying to punch that way up to the ceiling, up onto the hand, leg swings through, keep that shoulder stable, find the stability before reversing that order, leg comes back out straight, onto the elbow, onto the back, and then repeat, push up onto that elbow, weight up to the ceiling, onto the hand, leg swings through, find that stability, swing the leg back, sit on the hip, onto the elbow, onto the back. 10 more seconds, try to get one more rep in before our rest break. Nice job, everyone. 1 minute of rest, and then we'll start our last round for today. Starting back here in 15 seconds, grabbing our band for those banded good mornings one last time for today. Starting in 3, 2, 1, and begin. If you're feeling pretty comfortable with these, I challenge you to kind of hold at the bottom of that stretch. And then nice and controlled, squeezing the glutes, sending those hips back out. Slow it down a little bit. It's one of those variables we can manipulate to make things a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging for ourselves. grab our barbell or our dumbbells, move into those clusters, and switch. Perfect. Just like always, starting with that hip hinge like we just did, but into that deadlift position, into the squat clean, into the thruster for that cluster movement. One thing that's kind of nice too, if you have the time, take the time at the top. Your arms up, it's easier to breathe. We open up our lung space a little bit, which is nice. You can get a couple deep breaths in at the top before moving on. Perfect. Go ahead and pick that band back up. And we'll move into the high pulls. Arms are feeling a little bit fatigued, excuse me. Go ahead and bring those feet closer in together, giving yourself a little bit more slack to get that full range of motion. Good. We'll go ahead, drop the band, pick up that dumbbell for first of the last set of those Turkish Get Ups. In 3, 2, 1, switch. Laying down on our back. Bend and bend, straight and straight. And then punch the elbow. Find the stability and then swing back and reverse that order. Sometimes too, I find that I don't get back into position just quite right. When you're down at the bottom of that movement, feel free to reset before moving into that next rep. 10 more seconds, try to get at least one more in. Perfect. Then go ahead and drop that weight, pick up that band. We'll do 30 seconds of our bow and arrows on each side. Just like I mentioned earlier, feel free to give yourself a little bit more space on that band. Make it a little bit easier to complete that full range of motion. Good, and go ahead and switch. Shoulders should definitely be burning. That light dumbbell one last time for the other arm, those Turkish Get Ups. Go ahead and switch.
Sound of love.
big nice job, everyone. Whew, I know my shoulders are on fire. Awesome job, though. Go ahead and switch the music. And, whoa, not sure what happened there. All right. We'll go ahead, stretch our shoulders for sure first. Bringing that one arm across the body. Don't feel like you get enough. Feel like punching out to the side. Get a little bit more of a stretch. Alrighty, good. Go ahead and switch sides. Go ahead and switch to just backwards. If you're like me, go ahead and switch arms. It's kind of like patting your head and rubbing your tummy. It's a good little trick. Okay, we're gonna use our bands not for working out, but for stretching now. So, depending on how thick your band is, mine's a little bit thicker, but you can do just one or like split it in half and then grab both ends. And then from here, hopefully it's long enough, our shoulders are flexible enough. I'm just blanking on what these are called. I'll remember it probably when we're done today. But it's a nice little shoulder opener. As it feels like it loosens up a little bit, feel free to scoot your hands in a little bit closer together. More stretch. Try to do a couple more. And then at that top, I want you to do kind of like stiff shoulders, open up wide, and then leaning to one side, kind of using this as like tension. Side. Good. And then we'll do one last shoulder one. So you'll bring the band behind your back, and then your palm will go behind your back, so the palm's facing out. You'll grab that band and then use the other hand that's holding up to the top to kind of like pull your arm up. I've always called this the bra hooking stretch because I can't think of any other thing, but in PT, when you work with a lot of little old ladies who have shoulder surgery, that's the one thing they miss doing on their own the most. Good, we'll hold this here for a few more seconds and then we'll switch sides. Come out of it slowly, would not recommend quickly, and then switch hands. Palm faces out in the back to grab, and then pulling up, trying to reach that opposite shoulder. Good. Come out of it slowly. And that's it for today. Nice job, guys. Remember to drink lots of water. Hopefully eat good, nutritious dinner tonight. And I'll see you all on Monday.